Good morning, my friends in Cindy's Corner, and I want to give a special shout out this morning to my friends in Houston, Texas, and Indiana, and my friends in the Philippines, and Dallas, Texas, Indonesia, and Denver, and Virginia, and my friends in Canada. Thank you for tuning in to Cindy's Corner. And please share with your colleagues or friends so that they don't miss story time with Cindy. If you've got the book Curious George, Snowy Day, go get it so you can follow along. My AR testers, this is a level 2-4. Our title page, Curious George. We love Curious George, don't we? Snowy Day. Written by Lazar, Saric. George woke up to a wonderful surprise. It had snowed all night. George was curious about all that clean, white snow. Maybe he could build something out of it. "You go outside, George?" said the man with the yellow hat. "I'll make us some cocoa for later." This was going to be a perfect day. George went out to play. Uh-oh, he sank right into the fluffy powder. Okay. He sank. Tall, wasn't it? Bill, George's friend and neighbor, came by. He did not have any trouble walking on the snow. "Hey, George," Bill said, "I have an extra pair of cross-country skis you can have." Then Bill showed George how to ski by making zigzags through the snow. George could not wait to try it for himself. With skis, George could stay on top of the snow, and he followed Bill uphill. Suddenly, they heard a noise. Oink, 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 oink. Bill said, "I'm going to find out what that is. You wait here." George waited on top of the hill in the cold. His house looked so small and warm. George wanted to get home for his cocoa. Was Bill coming back? "Hey, George," Bill shouted from the bottom of the hill. "I couldn't find whatever made that sound, but I have to head home now. Keep the skis and have fun." So George did, for a while. When George was tired, he skied down the hill toward home until he hit a rock. His skis flew off and George tumbled the rest of the way down. Poor George. Going everywhere, isn't he? George picked himself up at the bottom of the hill. What would he do now? He spotted two children pulling a sled. They were walking on the snow, but they did not have skis. How did they do it? It had to be those wide, flat shoes they wore. "Vinny, I think he likes our snowshoes," the girl said. George nodded. "Vicky and I live on the other side of the hill," said Vinny. "If you come home with us, we'll lend you our snowshoes so you can get home too. Climb aboard the sled." Here they are on the sled. It was fun to sail down another hill, but now George was even further from his house. Here you go, monkey, Vicky said. She gave George her snowshoes and climbed on the sled. Bye, monkey. Good luck. George began his long journey home. He was cold and tired, and climbed up the hill was hard work. The thought of a nice, steamy cup of cocoa kept him going. Oink! George looked up. That was that noise again. He decided to follow it. A cold, lost pig. What was he doing out here all by himself? And how could George rescue the poor pig? George remembered how Vicky and Vinny had rescued him. What George needed was a sled. It had to be flat and big enough for the pig to sit on. A fallen sign nearby looked like a good choice. What a ride! See the sign? It's good thinking, wasn't it? When George got home, he found his neighbor, Farmer Renkins, talking to the man with the yellow hat. Thanks for bringing my pig home, George, the farmer said. He got out last night before it snowed. Good work, George, said the man with the yellow hat. There's some cocoa waiting for you inside. That was exactly what George had hoped to hear. Skiing, snowshoeing, sledding, and now cocoa. It had been a perfect snowy day. Now, especially my friends I know up in Denver, do you have skis or snowshoes? Tell us about what it is that you do when it snows outside. I can't wait to hear from you on Cindy's Corner. And make sure you subscribe and go back and watch some other videos, some other stories and story times, because one story is just not enough of Cindy. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and look back. Have some other story times with Cindy. I can't wait to see what you do in the snow, and if the snow has ever been as tall as you. And how did you get through it? Did you wear skis or snowshoes? What did you do? Did you go on a sled? My friends who don't have snow very often, or never at all, if you found yourself in a bunch of snow and it was up to your waist, what would you do? Tell me that. You can even draw me a picture. Have a great day, stay warm, and enjoy the snow if you've got some. And maybe even a cup of hot cocoa.